The Hyundai Tucson is an important model in the Korean car maker's India lineup, and I am not talking volumes here, but positioning. For the most part of its life cycle in India, the Tucson has remained the flagship in many ways in Hyundai's SUV portfolio, alongside the larger Santa Fe in the past, and so it's crucial that it stays modern and contemporary. April 2018. Yes, it was that long ago that this car made its global debut. The facelift was first shown at the New York International Auto Show, and later that year started to go into all the different markets, which gets the Tucson. In fact, in October that year, we showed you my first drive with the facelift. It was in Turkey, and who knows why it's taken Hyundai this long to bring the car to us. Yes, the good part is it is here now. The other good news is that it does look really sharp. It's got all this really angular treatment for that cascade grille, very sharp LED headlamp, a little boring, and again, I can't understand why, simplistic daytime running light too. And why that's odd to me is that this facelift came at a time when Hyundai had already begun pushing the boundaries of design, especially for its SUVs. You had cars like the Kona, the new Creta under development. A lot more could have been done on that DRL, but the whole impression of this facelift is to make the car look edgier and sharper, and that it does achieve, because even the alloy pattern and, like I said, the lighting treatment front and back gives it that little bit of a modernity and takes away the rounded look that it had. But otherwise, of course, the profile and proportion remains exactly the same. It's a very sweet spot in the compact SUV space globally, which is why this car sells such huge volumes everywhere else, but not in India. The reason I find that surprising is that it should actually be a much bigger money spinner for Hyundai, and I think the reason that doesn't happen here is to do with its positioning. Yes, so though it is a flagship, customers at that end of the market expect something bigger, bolder, and a bit more versatile. By versatile, I mean that the looks have to be a bit more macho and the car needs to be more capable off-road. In fact, the Tucson's sales only went up when Hyundai launched the 4x4 version. We'll come to that in a bit. Let's talk about the interiors first, because it is on the inside as well where there are more pronounced updates. The facelift comes with an all-black cabin as opposed to the dual-tone black and beige from before, while most of the layout remains unchanged. The dashboard and central console have been revamped and draw inspiration from the Hyundai Kona. The Tucson now gets an infotainment system that supports Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and navigation. It's now a connected car too, thanks to the addition of Hyundai's Blue Link. There's an 8-speaker Infinity premium sound system, but the Bose and Artemis units from the Creta and Venue, well, they still remain way ahead. And don't forget the Creta's larger screen too. There are features like the big sunroof, a 10-way power adjustable driver's seat, 8-way power adjustable front passenger seat, auto foldable and adjustable mirrors, LED headlights and taillights, LED DRLs or daytime running lights, auto dimming inner rear view mirror, dual zone auto climate control, a wireless phone charger, and more. There are driver assist features too, like park assist and a 360-degree camera view. Now, I do think Hyundai should have carried forward the Creta's steering wheel. It looks and feels sexier and is good to hold, and I'd like to have more buttons that offer the tactile feedback, especially those on the door armrests. But overall, it's quite a classy cabin. It is sophisticated, upmarket, and certainly is very updated. how does it drive? Well, that's the other good news, that it was always a comfortable car to drive. It's great in city traffic and it maintains all of that. And so you'll not find anything amiss when you go with this car, and all of its updates for BS6 and even its updated four-wheel drive system all feel very sorted, comfortable, and that's the focus. It's an easy to drive car, it's comfortable, and so while it's not very sporty or high on the dynamic quotient, which for people like me is a bit of a downer, it really, really is high on comfort, which for most people will be great. The 2-liter 4-cylinder BS6 diesel engine that I am driving is high on refinement, and there's a good amount of power too. The electronic variable geometry turbocharger, or EVGT, helps it put out 400 Nm of peak torque. There's 182 bhp of power, and all of that torque, by the way, is accessible from 1750 RPM. The automatic gearbox is an 8-speed torque converter and the shifts are smooth, but you feel a faint click when the gears shift. That's not too pronounced. What is new is the all-wheel drive transfer case with the advanced traction and cornering control system, or HTRAC, which is essentially an intelligent all-wheel drive. Basically, it splits power between the front and rear wheels depending on the traction required. So when you're coasting, the car sends all the power to the front wheels, and that helps you to save fuel. But of course, otherwise, the default driving setting for the all-wheel drive system is 80% power up front, 20% to the rear, but it can go to 50-50 depending on the need, and the system detects that based on traction and gives it to you. So it's self-adjusting and automatic, and therefore very easy and convenient to use. So while the all-wheel drive system lets you explore countryside, hill stations and manage a lot of mild off-roading, it is overall still a crossover car. Now if you wish to buy a petrol, that's on offer too. It's a 2-liter unit that belts out 150 bhp and gives you 192 Nm of peak torque. That engine is mated to a 6-speed auto gearbox as standard. The Hyundai Tucson is also pretty well loaded with safety and drive assist tech like electronic stability control, downhill brake control, vehicle stability management, hill start control, brake assist, auto hold, ABS with EBD, that's anti-lock braking with electronic brake force distribution, ISOFIX child seat mounts, and 6 airbags. So the Tucson remains a premium and comfortable daily driver for city commuting, and is also a mile muncher for those who want long drives. Prices for the SUV start at 22,30,000 for the two-wheel drive variant and go up to 27,03,000 rupees for the all-wheel drive. Now the direct rival for the Tucson is the very capable Jeep Compass, which undercuts the two-wheel drive version by 6 lakh rupees and the top-end model by over 3 lakh rupees. So yes, while that is odd, it doesn't feel small, so that's the good thing. And you know what, the car is really packed with a whole lot of equipment, the really nice panoramic sunroof. All of that will really work. I think it's the positioning, like I was saying earlier, that's a bit strange because the price gap between the Creta and the Tucson is still way too much. In my view, the Tucson should start at about 18 lakh rupees and top off at about 24 lakhs. And you'll really, really take the market by storm because well, you could just do a lot with that sort of price band.